on the river. We're going to open up with I Can See Clearly Now. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Take a key. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. All right, Brian's popping up. You might hear some new sounds today. We're trying out a new soundboard. It's pretty exciting, and I want to thank Brian Dozer for all his work to get it going. He's working triple time. I want to thank Timmy in the back for running the sound. He's doing a great job.
Yay,
Right.
Come on, Brian.
Put your hands together. Here we go. Pop up. Here we go.
Lift up your lift up your eyes to the harvest. People are coming to life. The darkness is losing its power. The morning is taking the night. Oh, let mission, no matter the cause. You give me joy. You give me joy. You give me peace. You give me peace. You give me joy in the harvest, a peace for tomorrow. The world will know I'm truly yours. In the morning, joy comes in the morning, joy comes in the morning. Let me hear you say,
Joy comes in the morning. Joy comes in the morning. Joy comes in the morning. Let me hear you
I
say.
said peace comes in the morning, peace comes in the morning, peace comes in the morning. Let me hear you say,
Peace comes in the morning. Peace comes in the morning. Peace comes in the morning. Let me hear you say.
I said whoa, whoa, whoa. I said whoa, whoa. I said joy. I said joy. I said joy. I said joy, 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 joy. You give me joy. You give me peace. You give me peace. You give me joy in the harvest, a peace for tomorrow. The world will know I'm truly yours.
Brian Dozier! And if you're comfortable, stay standing and join hands with the person next to you. This is surely the presence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let us pray. Surely the presence of God is in this place because you are here. You, the very embodiment of all that is. You, the heart, the hands, the face, the voice, the arms, the compassion, the love of the divine. It is all made real through you, in you, and as you. And as you go out into this world and you shine that divine light that you are, that you be a stand for all that is good and all that is holy. God is made visible because of you. And for that I am so grateful and so glad that you're here to remember that, to celebrate that, to build on that. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. So glad you've chosen to spend this time with us. Now, case you're new to Unity, we don't believe in a God we pray to for any outcome, like a sport result. But if we did believe in that, right now I would be praying for Roger Federer to win Wimbledon as he's playing right now. I'm trying to pull myself here, as my prayer said, and not be there. I joked with somebody. I said, I get to take a few Sundays off a year. Maybe next year I should plan them around like tennis finals, so that I'm home watching tennis. How many of y'all saw Venus play yesterday? Any tennis fans? I forget. It's a football country. Where am I? Where am I? Watch some tennis. I saw a hand go up there. Thank you. Watch Red Sox. Okay, yes, baseball country too. Come on, tennis is a good sport too. Watch some tennis. I'm by myself here. It's all good. Welcome, and special welcome to our guest musicians today, Fred Abatelli, Lori Diamond. They are here to take us down and into another level with their tunes. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm also glad that who's here? Magical, marvelous Mickey to facilitate for us. Thanks, Mickey.
Thank you, Ogun. Thank you. So, what is this tennis you're speaking of? Is this a sport from Barbados? Not quite sure of that. Sorry. Anywho, welcome to Unity on the River. I have a brand new mic, and it's pretty powerful on top of my voice, right? But I like it. We're tuning. So first of all, I want to welcome here to Unity on the River. And I'd like to say hi to all the streamers and welcome them as well. Hi, streamers. Thank you for coming and having your coffee and tea with us. Also, if you are here for the first time, could you raise your hand? Keep that hand up. We've got some folks, keep those hands up. We've got a flower, we've got a welcome packet. We ask that you take a look at that. We have a spiritual resource center. We've got somebody over here. Keep your hand up. Thank you so much for coming. We bless you and thank you for coming, and we welcome all paths to God. Your presence always enhances our service, so thank you so much for coming. Okay. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Let's hold these truths in our heart as we say together our mission and vision statement. And as you say this, really take the words in and see if you can maybe take them with you today as well. Mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And then for our vision of this center together, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And I just want to give a few brief announcements. Last call for Absolute Abundance class. Second class starts tomorrow night, and I can tell you, it's absolutely abundant already. I've already signed up, and it is wonderful. Volunteer Appreciation Day will be on July 23rd, right after service. This is an event that will be hosted by Frank Barron. This will be to honor anyone who has served in the past year. It's a yearly event that we do. So if you've served in the past year, then this is an event for you, and that's July 23rd. On July 31st, Rama Anasio will be at Unity on the River. Come enjoy a healing concert with a current meditative prayer at 5 o'clock, and Archangel Michael and Archaea Faith Attunement at 7. There are only 7 spots left, so please sign up as soon online. And then, of course, our Wednesday night service is going to be with our very own Reverend Ogun and Meg Rain, and it's going to be a prayer and healing service. Thank you. So now it's that time in our service where we take a moment to greet each other in love, either a handshake or a hug. I invite you to say, I see you, I see your beauty, I see your magnificence, I see the divine in you. Namaste. right. And now I'd like to welcome a real treat, as many of you who have been here before know. I'd like to welcome Lori Diamond and Fred Abatelli.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Fred and I are honored to be back here to co-create this experience with this most beloved community. Thank you for inviting us. We are joyful and honored to be here. So the first song we're going to share with you is called True. And it is a reflection of the message, one of the many messages here in the Unity community. That's a mouthful, Unity community. And this song is about being a living expression of your most authentic self, no matter what the external pressures may be. It's called True.
Right.
She was saying yes when she really meant no. Going all the places she didn't want to go, and she put on her blinders, and they thought they'd never find her again, and she almost lost herself, trying to please somebody else. But she won't be a walking contradiction for you. She's gonna be true. Now as he went along with everything that they did, he always felt the pressure that somehow trickled in, and he wanted to wake up, but he found he couldn't make up his mind. Where was his mind? And he almost lost himself, trying to please somebody else. But he won't be a walking contradiction for you. He's gonna be true. He'll be true. If you're lucky enough to wake, you'll have a lonely conversation with your heart. Then you can start believing in your inner truth. Find your way back to you. Might not agree with everything that you say. I know that I don't have to. I add value anyway, and I hope you'll remind me that you'll always want to find me here, and I'm here, but I almost lost myself trying to please somebody else. I won't be a walking contradiction for you. I'm gonna be true. I'll be true. Never gonna be true. Never gonna be true. Yeah, gonna be true.
Laurie Diamond and Fred Avitelli.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Love that. So I have a question for you to consider. I'm going to flash it up on the screen here, and then I'll pause for about 30 seconds to let you really consider it. Ready? So I know for some of you, the answer is going to range from absolutely nothing, I'm doing it, to I will be doing something 100% different for what I'm doing now. The answers range, are going to range. But I want to start us reconstructing this question a little bit. When we read that line, no longer worried about money, often we go to a certain assumption place. I'll speak for myself. I'll throw myself under the bus. When I used to look at that question, I assumed no longer worried about money meant that, or I translate it in my head as, what would it be like if I were rich or wealthy? No longer worried about money meant I had so much of it, I didn't need to worry about it. That's how I used to read that question. Now I read it differently. Do you know what it means to worry? I've shared this, well, yeah, you know what it means, but I've shared this before. Worry is a misuse of one of our 12 powers. We have these 12 divine faculties and powers within us. Worry is a misuse of the power of what? Imagination. Somebody's listening, yes. Worry is a misuse of a power of imagination. This is why I wore my Einstein shirt today. Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is more important than knowledge. We can know these things. We can know all the spiritual tools in the world, but if our imagination is misused, it don't matter, because the tools will be used to go towards the things we worry about and how we misuse our power of imagination. Why do we worry so much? Why do we worry? First of all, there's nothing wrong with you if you worry. So cut yourself a break, say, I'm okay. I'm not broken in any way. We worry because from an evolutionary perspective, we are hardwired to worry. We have a thing imprinted in our brains called negativity bias. Negativity bias means all things being equal, if there's a piece of information that we may perceive as not necessarily joyful, happy, or whatever, as negative, it carries more weight than the positive things. So in case you're having trouble interpreting that fine piece of graphic over there, you will notice the box on the right with the sad face, that's the negative idea. And it's about equal to like 3 positive ideas. I don't know that's how the ratio actually works, but it's just an illustration. Negativity bias. We're kind of hardwired in a strange way for it. It's what kept us alive over the, millennia that Homo sapiens has been running around. But, it's still there. We still have it. But, fortunately, as we are now, we have this wonderful prefrontal cortex, and we can retrain our brains to switch from a negativity bias to a positivity bias. And when we switch to a positivity bias, we don't worry nearly as much. When we switch to a positivity bias, anything that we think we're going to worry about suddenly becomes an opportunity to, hey, let's practice some of these tools that we have. And we do it almost instantaneously. The quote earlier, Maria Namath, and if anyone ever heard of her, she's a financial empowerment and positivity coach. Did I get that right? Always look at your notes, Ogun. Look at your notes. And a personal development coach. There you go. But she wrote an amazing book called The Soul of Money. If you've never read it, you got to read it. It'll change your life. But anyways, this is her key question that guides everything she does. She also calls negativity bias the monkey mind. Some of you might be more familiar with that term. Monkey mind is also the endless chatter that takes us down the rabbit hole. But this negativity bias thing, it's been proven, and it's also been proven that we can rewire it to positivity. How do we do that? We begin by being in gratitude and by giving. So this past Monday, I started the Absolute Abundance class, as Mickey pointed out. If any of you are still interested in joining, tomorrow is the second class. After tomorrow, the class is closed for confidentiality and flow reasons. But you still have a chance to jump in. And if you're really ready, even if you think you know it all already, if you want to upend it some more, if you want to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Remember, they say the role of the minister is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So if you're a little too comfortable in your spirituality right now, and you don't feel you're really being like, it's all right, come every Sunday, hear what he has to say. He's all right, he's a little funny, but, I'm not really. Come to the Monday night class. Trust me, it will rock your world, okay? But this is what the class is really about. It's about retraining our brain, retraining our spirit, retraining our beliefs to switch from that negativity bias to that positivity bias. And the first thing we do is ground ourselves in gratitude, and we give. Now, we have this issue with giving, and that's because we think we don't have anything to give. We think things are not valuable in our lives. This could not be more further from the truth. We think there are parts of ourselves that are not valuable. This could not be more further from the truth. And when we can realize the true value of everything we have and that we can give, we're going to switch to what I like to call that consciousness of absolute abundance. What is that? Absolute abundance with a free flow of ideas and an effortless way of life. It includes, but is not limited to, vibrant health, fulfilling relationships, work you love, and financial freedom. Look at the first part of that sentence. Free flow of ideas, an effortless way of life. Effortless way of life. Effortless. How exhausting is effort? It is exhausting. If you have no effort, you are just going to be full of energy and enjoying life. Okay? There will no longer be that struggle. It does not mean that weird things won't happen, but when the weird things happen, you go, oh, yay! Weird stuff happened. That means there's going to be some good coming. You get to shift how you see things from negativity bias to positivity bias. Includes, but not limited to. And I love that there's that phrase, not limited to. Like, this list is not complete. There's a whole lot of stuff in that list right there when you think about it. Vibrant health, fulfilling relationships, work you love, financial freedom. If we were in a place where we had all four of those things just like churning on a regular basis, like we'd be happy, like pretty much all the time, right? Some of you don't believe me. Stay with me. You will by the end of this talk. Fingers crossed. Anyways, so let's talk about the things that we think we don't have that are valuable. Let me introduce you to this blogger. His name is Kyle McDonald. Where did my prop go? It fell. Oh, he had a red paper clip. Some of you probably can't even see this thing in my hand. It's so tiny. And he managed from this red paper clip to get himself a house. Take that in for a minute. He started with a red paper clip. He got himself a house and didn't spend a single dime. When you think about buying a house, the first thing you think about is, ooh, I need a house, I gotta buy it, that's money. Do I have money? Gotta go to the bank, gotta get a loan. And you talk about mortgages and all that, we give so much power to money that we believe that it is the only thing that will get us what we want and desire in life. And it's always there in the back of our mind. And when we think we don't have enough of it, which, by the way, is entirely subjective, how much is enough, right? When we think we don't have enough, I know people with like single-digit dollars in the bank that say don't have enough, and I know people with like 9 zeros in the bank, and they still think they don't have enough. It's entirely subjective. But when we think we don't have enough, when we think we are not enough inside ourselves, we think we don't have anything to give. So this guy, if you've never heard this story, go look up the video, Red Paperclip. And we talked about this in class Monday night. True story. He started with a red paperclip, and he got on Craigslist, which is the home of the good, the bad, and the weird. So I'm going to give you just a brief note. There's a whole video he does, but here's a brief outline. He started with this red paperclip, got on Craigslist, and traded it for a fish-shaped pen. Then he traded the pen for a hand-sculpted doorknob from someone in Seattle, Washington. He's in Canada, by the way. Then he traded the doorknob for a Coleman camp stove from someone in Amherst, Massachusetts. Then he traded that camp stove for a Honda electric generator in California. Then he traded the generator for an instant party. Here's what an instant party is. It's an empty keg. It's an IOU for filling the keg with beer when you're ready for your party. And you get this big neon Budweiser sign that says, beer, party, whatever. So he traded for that. So now he's got this party. He trades the party to someone in Quebec, a comedian, for a snowmobile, okay? Trades the snowmobile for a 2-person trip to a place in British Columbia called Yak. Kid you not, that's the name of the place, okay? So he goes, and then he trades the second, because it's a 2-person, the second spot on the trip for like a box truck, like a U-Haul kind of deal, so he can get whatever stuff he has to transport there. He trades the box truck for a recording contract at Metalworks Recording Studio in Ontario. Then he trades the record contract. Now this doesn't happen like day after day, okay? It's over a period of time. He trades the record contract for a year's rent in this duplex in Phoenix, okay? Turns out the person on the other half of the duplex knew the musician, the rocker, Alice Cooper, okay? And apparently somebody needed the place to stay, so he traded the 1 year's rent in Phoenix for one afternoon with Alice Cooper, okay? Now, then he traded the afternoon with Alice Cooper for a Kiss snow globe. Kiss the band, remember Kiss, Gene Simmons, the whole thing? Okay, right, so he trades that for a Kiss snow globe. Then he found out that the actor Corbin Burnson, remember him, LA Law? Yeah? Okay, look him up. He was an avid snow globe collector, like thousands of snow globes. Don't ask why, that's the wrong question. Everybody's got their thing. So he trades the snow globe to Corbin Burnson for a role in this movie that Corbin Burnson was going to produce, a comedy. Okay, so now he's got a role in this movie. And then he said to the world, because he's blogging all this, I got this movie role, what would someone give me for it? And someone said, I happen to have this house, in Saskatchewan. It's a 2-story house. I'd trade you for the movie role because I'm trying to break through into Hollywood. And he ended up from this with a house. There was no money exchanged in that process. How valuable is a paperclip? Before that story, you'd have said about 3 cents, if that much. But his red paperclip turned out to be a house. We think that the things we have around us and that the things we have in us are of no value. Every single thing we have, tangible and intangible, is of value. And the only way that we will activate that flow of being in that place of absolute abundance that we defined just now is to start giving. It's to give. It's to be in that flow. Nature abhors a vacuum. You give, it will bring things to you, things that your heart desires, not that your mind worries about, but that the true desires of your heart, fulfilling relationships, meaningful, inspiring work or hobbies, vibrant health, worry and stress. It literally kills us. It robs us of our years. If you really want to know scientifically what that happens is worry and stress shortens the ends of some chromosomes called telomerase, I believe, and that is what determines how long we live. Stress and worry literally kills us, or at least shortens our lifespan. If we live worry-free, how much more of the fullness of life will we experience? So here's how this works. This works first again by looking at what you have and giving thanks for it. Because when you give thanks for it, you realize the value that it has. You realize the value that it has. Now, if you want to experiment with this old Craigslist trading thing, I would love for you to go do it. Let's see what happens. That might be interesting. But everything you have is of value. You know, there's some of you who like to go antiquing. How many antiquers in the house? Yeah. Some of you like to go antiquing. Some of you have antiques in your home. Things that may have been sitting in your family for generations gathering dust. And you know there's value. Why? Because it's important to somebody else. Everything you have has value. And more importantly, everything you are is valuable. So what do you have to give? There are 3 main categories we talk about in this absolute abundance class: your time, your talent, and your treasure. Everybody's got time, and everybody's got something they can do. Talent. And you're probably sitting there saying, you know what? I don't have a talent. I can't do anything. I see these wonderful musicians and singers, and I see all these wonderful artists. I can't do anything like that. But you know what? You can still give. How many of you here can hold a hose? It's not a rhetorical question. If you can literally hold a hose in your hand, raise your hand. There's some hands that were not raised, and I don't believe you. You can stand and hold a hose, okay? Like, anybody can do that. We have this beautiful meditation garden out here that requires watering every day. And it takes all of 15 minutes, 20 tops to drive by, stop, water the thing. Do you not believe that that's valuable? Do you not believe that that is given? Why? Because what happens when you water that garden? It grows, it stays alive, it's beautiful, it becomes a place for centering. It becomes a place where you and this wider Amesbury, Newburyport community can come and sit and reconnect with nature. And perhaps they go, oh, look, what is this garden back here? Oh, it belongs to this church? What? There's a church here in the strip mall? I had no idea. Oh, look, there's a church. Wonder what they're all about. And then they come in and then they're transformed. And all you did was stand with a hose. Everything you give is of value, even if it's just your time. Even if it's just your money as well. And don't pick one category. I love it sometimes when, I tell people like this, and they say, time, talent, or treasure. All right, I'm just going to give my time. We're good. Give in all categories. Here's why it's really important for your transformation that you give your money to where you're spiritually fed. Are you ready for this? Remember what I started with saying. We place so much importance and power on money. It is the thing a lot of us worry about most. It is the thing that married couples argue about most. It is the thing that keeps us up at night. We give it so much power when really all it is a means of exchange. It's a means of exchange. You know how money really started, right? Anybody? You know how it really started? We had the shepherd and we had the blacksmith, and, the blacksmith didn't want what the shepherd could offer, and somebody else needed something else. So, back when people used to trade stuff, but somehow, everybody didn't need everything everybody else had all at the same time. So we had to come up with some means of being a go-between. Okay. Money's essentially a big old IOU. Okay. So the shepherd's like, hey, blacksmith, I need something that you make. And blacksmith says, well, I don't need any sheep or wool. I'm good right now. So it's like, here, we'll take this, and then you can trade it with somebody else. And then it's a really bad explanation, I know, but that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. And we placed so much money, so much importance, and we give it so much power. It's unbelievable in our lives how much we worry about it, because we forget that everything we have outside of money is also valuable. So if you really, really, really want to jump into the shift from negativity to the positivity bias, practice giving away the thing that you have the most worry about. Practice giving away the thing you have the most worry about. The thing that for a lot of us, that's money. It is. I'll admit it, I think about it a lot. I do think about it a lot. I think about what I don't have. And it's weird to think about. It's weird when you think about it to consider worrying about the money you don't have, because you don't know how much that really is. Right? You're worrying about this abstract concept of what you don't have, and you really don't know what that is. We just say, I don't have enough. And enough is this big abstract word that basically equates into, I'm going to worry about it. So shift into the positivity bias. Look at what you do have. Look at what you do have. First, be grateful for it and remind yourself that this has value. Value cannot be determined by quantity. Value cannot be determined by quantity. Does that make sense? Red paper clip. Earlier in my talk, I said it was worth 3 cents. Now I'm going to say it's worth 1.5 cents. Okay? Red paper clip. Its worth was not determined by how much it cost. Its worth was determined by the intention. Its worth was determined by somebody seeing value in it. And it was also determined by a willingness to give it away. That's how you know something is really valuable in your life. Your willingness to give it away. Your time, your skills, and that money that we worry about a lot. If it's so valuable, give it. It seems antithetical, but it's what works. So happens, you can give it here. All of the above. Your time, your talents, and your treasure. This is your spiritual community. It's not the building, but you come here. It's you. And like anything in your life that you deem valuable, the question you ask yourself is, how much am I investing in my spiritual community? How many homeowners do we have in here? How many homeowners? Yeah. Those of us who own homes, We invest in it, don't we? Time to fix things up. We buy stuff that needs to be replaced, maintaining its value as much as we can. We invest in it. How many of us have kids? Yeah, we invest in them a lot too. My daughter's currently in New York. I don't know if I tell you this. She's in New York, and she's doing a 6-week summer intensive with the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. And she is loving New York City. She's especially loving the restaurants in New York City. In case you didn't know this about Joy, she is a diehard foodie. And she looked up the top foodie experiences to experience in New York, and by God, she's checking all of them off. The first day or two we moved her in, she was a little nervous about going there. With all these other dancers. She auditioned with some of them here in Boston. She knew some were better than her. She was kind of a little nervous, probably, first time living in a dorm room with other people. She was a little nervous, and we were checking in with each other a lot those first couple days. By the 4th day, she says to me, you don't have to call every day. Maybe I want to, but okay, thanks. So a day or two goes by, random text. Then the phone rings. Hey, how you doing? She's Skyping to me from Central Park. She's sitting there. I say, are you hanging out with your friends? No, I'm by myself. I just got all peopled out for the week. I needed some time alone. This is how she operates. She's at core an introvert, just like her dad. And I said, okay, that's very cool. Then, gonna need some more money. It's like, what happened to all the money I left you? I kind of ate it. Her current obsession is, I don't know if you've seen these. I'm getting way off track now, but this is fun. They make pasta in a cheese wheel. Have you seen this? God looked at some on YouTube. It's amazing. They cook the pasta. When you cook pasta to make it cheesy, then you throw cheese in the pot. No. They cook the pasta. They take a wheel of cheese, carve out the center of the wheel of cheese, put the pasta in the wheel of cheese, and stir it around. So it's like, as you're cooking it, it's melting the cheese. And some people throwing in liqueurs and lighting the thing on fire. It's the whole thing. She's obsessed with this right now. And she found a place, and this is her thing. She's in the flow, apparently. And apparently I am the spigot. So when she calls, I'm just like, all right. It's like, can you just slow down on thing? You're in a dorm, you got a kitchen, go buy some ramen. You love ramen. Go eat some ramen and enjoy Friday and Saturday out somewhere else. This is the whole thing. But the point I'm making is that I am willing to invest in her. I'm willing to invest in her. Give her my time. Give her the money that it took to do this whole thing. I'm invested in her. How many of you have a hobby that you really love? Any hobbyists, enthusiasts that you really love? What do? You invest in that. You give the time to it. You cultivate your talents with it. You spend money on it, or you trade for it, and you build yourself with it. Same thing here with this spiritual community. This is where you come to connect with people, to receive inspiration, spiritual nourishment, and to grow spiritually. It's no different than any other thing in your life if you value it, and I know you do because you come here every Sunday, you watch online every Sunday, you come to classes during the week. If you value this, like anything else in your life, you invest in it. So this is my invitation to you. Consider how much you invest in your spiritual community, in this spiritual community. And it's not a matter of need. It's a matter of, are you wanting to be truly transformed? Are you wanting to truly be in that place where you get into the flow of absolute abundance, where there's just this effortless flow of ideas in life, and there's vibrant health and fulfilling relationships? If you want to live that way, you've got to do something about it. And what you do is you look at what you have and assign value to it. Know it's valuable. Look at yourself and know every piece of you is valuable. And don't do it in a guiltful or shameful way. Just know it. Trust it. You're valuable. Why? Because you exist. Because you are the embodiment of the divine. Because at your core, you are spirit. You can't put a value on spirit, can you? It's beyond values, beyond measure. It is the greatest treasure, and it is within you. It is you. And what do we do with the things we value most? Give it away. Give it away. So here's what I want you to do this week. Truly ask yourself, am I investing, serving, giving of my time, my talent, my treasure to this spiritual community that I value, that is valuable? And crank it up a notch. Crank it up. Crank up the time you give here. Crank up the money you give here. Crank up how you use your skills to volunteer here. Do these things. Not because this is a place of need or there is lack, but because you are here to be transformed. And it's not going to happen just by sitting there listening to me. It's going to happen when you give, when you serve. Because when you do that and you see the effects of it in your life, you're going to go, oh my God, he was right. But it's not me. This is an age-old teaching that extends beyond time. You are valuable. Give of yourself. Let's take this in a meditation. So I invite you to get centered. Plant both feet on the floor. Perhaps clear your lap of any papers, bags, purses, books, so that you can simply allow your hands to rest gently in the lap. Sit upright but relaxed, and just allow your attention to fall onto your breath. Let your steady flow of breath take you into yourself. And let's just rest in the breathing here for a moment as we become centered in this now moment. To give who we are, to give what we have, is an affirmation of God's abundance. To give what we have and to give of who we are is to say, I have faith in a limitless universe, in the abundance that is God, and in myself. And in this moment, I open myself to transform by the renewing of my mind, to no longer live in the place of negativity bias, but to see everything in my life as good, as the opportunity for the abundance of God to flow in, through, and as me. I am God's abundance. I am God's abundance. Let us take that affirmation into the silence for a few minutes. I am God's abundance. I am God's abundance. Let this be the mantra that you rest in this week. As you give thanks for all that is valuable in your life. As you give thanks for all that is valuable about who you are. And we hold that intention for all the names and situations here in this prayer box. That regardless of what's happening, because of what's happening, they all remember the truth. That they are God's abundance. And should you hold that intention for anyone else in your life right now, I invite you to say their names out loud. All these names, all these people, this is a reflection of the true limitlessness of the universe. I am God's abundance. Believe that. So it is.
Please join us as you feel inspired to. It's called Om. is in my heart. Peace is in my heart. Peace is in my heart. Peace is in my heart. Joy is in my soul. 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 Joy is in my Love is who I am. 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 Love is who I am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Ogun. Beautiful. Yeah, just beautiful. Wow. We are so blessed here at Unity on the River. Just our music ministry. Thank you so much. I don't think I can do anything else right now. So into that. Wow. Well, I can actually talk about the next item, which is our wonderful prayer chaplains who are here to serve this community in so many ways. These are volunteer folks that hold this center always, not just today, but always. If you could stand, these folks are here to pray with you today, whether it be a gratitude prayer or something that you really need, or if you're worrying, just give it to them, and it'll be gone, right? So thank you very much. So now it's that time in our service to get our tithes together. And I also want to remind those folks that are streaming that it does take a lot to get streaming going. So we do appreciate if you can make also a donation. Don't want you to be forgotten. I wanted to mention one thing. Within our prayer chaplains, we also have something called home and hospital prayer chaplains. I know, Nancy, you're here. If you could stand. Either Nancy, is there anyone else here that does the home and hospital visits? Okay. So if you have somebody that you'd like to have a special visit or discuss something about, you can see Nancy today. So that's a wonderful service that we have. Okay, so now let's hold our tithes in our hands and say our affirmation of our tithes and offerings together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
While the ushers are, collecting offering, a couple of things I want to update you on. First of all, especially for online viewers who want to give, we now have lots of multiple ways you can give, especially online, not just PayPal, but directly through the website if you're not a PayPal fan. Plus, we've also set up Apple Pay. So if you want to use Apple Pay to give a donation, any Apple Pay users in the house, thank you. I'll be looking for that donation. And those of you viewing online as well, as you're watching, whip out your iPhone, do an Apple Pay donation. That would be totally awesome. Also, you've heard me talk about the SEE week that's going to be coming up soon. The registrations so far are very low, which is neither a good nor a bad thing. It's just what it is. If the registrations stay low, we are probably going to have to cancel the event because it's not going to be worth the resources we need to put into it to have the event. So if you've been thinking about, I don't know if I want or not, the next 2 days is the time to decide. Okay, because during the middle of the week, if I realize we don't have a good enough count of people, we'll just hold it off till next year, and it just is what it is. So if you're on the fence, now's the time to hop off the fence. Fences are not comfortable places to sit, so hop off the fence, pick a side. All right, either way. Also, mark your calendars for 2 retreats coming up in October. First one is a women's retreat. The women's retreat will be on October 7th, and then the following weekend, well, not the weekend of, it's a couple days, the weekend of October 7th, and then the following weekend, October 14th, is the men's retreat. If they were both held on the same weekend, no one would be here. So, mark your calendars. It's gonna be fabulous events. You will hear a lot more about the women's retreat next week when we really start advertising it, but I just want to put it in your consciousness right now. So if that weekend's open, ladies, or the following weekend, gentlemen, circle it. That weekend belongs to Unity on the River. It'll be all good. Let us bless the offering. So I invite you to gently close your eyes, go to your heart space, to that place of gratitude for these gifts that were given here, the gifts online from our viewers, and those of us who are tithing in the Absolute Abundance class. We are so grateful that we have the opportunity to give because what we have is valuable. We are so grateful that these gifts will continue to serve this community, creating that space for us to come and commune together, be inspired together, be in relationship together, and grow together. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your gifts. Thank you so much. Just this time now to say thank you to those who make the service possible, whether it be during the week or today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It takes so many people to make this happen. I'd like to thank the teams today, greeting team, Sunday service team, and altar team. Try to thank different themes every week. The angel this week is my wife, Christina Mariah Lucia, for saving the meditation garden on July 6th. I got the story last night. She was here at her center, the Divine Paradigm Center. She looked outside and she saw some smoke. And what happened was something was smoldering in the wood chips in the meditation garden. So she called the fire department. They came down, they put it out. So it's just God saying, hey, it's your turn, Christina. Thank you, God. Could have been really bad. So we're going to be taking some efforts moving forward to how it might have happened and how we can have that not happen again. But just thank you, God. That's all we have to say. Thank you. All right, any board members here? If you can stand. Thank you. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for your service. Mark is actually a board member as well. He's in hospitality today. So if you have any questions, come see these beautiful folks. Oh, Wednesday night service with Ogun and Meg Rain. Beautiful music ministry on Wednesday night, and it's going to be a healing service. So it's a wonderful time to reunite from Sunday. Sometimes by Wednesday you need that little bit of a reunite kind of thing, kind of a spark like we saw in the meditation garden, but not quite. Don't want to say that. So Wednesday night is a great time for that. And guess what time it is now? We get to be gifted, blessed once again with Lori Diamond and her husband, Fred, I want to say this correctly because I am Italian, Abatelli. 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 There you go. I like it. Abatelli. With a beautiful song we all know, Wayfaring Stranger.
Give it up for Lori and Fred.
This is our one folk song. We changed it a little. Ready, gentlemen? Let's see. We may not pass the same way ever again. See you on the other side.
While journeying through this world of woe, and there's no sickness, toil or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there. I'm going there, no more to run. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Now I know dark clouds
want to wear that crown of glory when I get home to that great land. I want to shout salvation story in concert with the blood was there. I'm going there to see my Savior, and I'm going there over to the road. Yes, I'm going. I'm only going over home, and I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Lori Diamond.
Fred Abatelli, how about the band? How about
And
Mara?
the
The chorus. Thank you.
Maura. And the best singers in town.
I believe you guys, do you guys, Fred, Lori, do you guys have CDs for sale today? They've got CDs. Support these guys. Invest in what's important and valuable. My favorite part of that was when she looked over and you're like, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm still in the flow. That was awesome. I love that. Like, don't cut me off. Let us stand and welcome our children walking as the light.
We are walking at the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking. Oh, we are walking at the light of God. We are walking, we are walking. Oh, we are walking at the light of God.
Hello and namaste.
Namaste.
We got kids today. I know. And we're just doing awesome, amazing things and planning for big future awesome events. And really, all the brain power was working today. That's what we do.
In the youth program, we read a wonderful story about being yourself and how it's fun to learn about how special everyone else is, but in the end, you come home and you just be yourself.
So again, if you're looking for a way, honestly, to serve in this spiritual community. It doesn't get much more fun than hanging out with these guys on Sunday morning. I mean, like once a month, once every 2 months, once a quarter. They will stretch you, and they will invite you. Like, there's nothing like having to explain something to a kid, because that's how you know you really know it. Honestly, the teachers know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so if you really, really want to be in the flow, if you really want to serve this community, spend some time with these kids. Talk to Matthew, talk to Becky down here, even talk to this little one up here, and find ways to serve. Let's stand, hold each other's hands as community, and affirm the truth for these children and for ourselves. There is peace in this. Here
we go. 1, 2, 3,
a peace sound.
5, 6.
Go give and be abundant this week. Namaste.
Go buy Laurie and Fred's CDs. Thanks so much, you guys. Great job. Great job. Super good. Super good.